What's going on, gardeners? It's Friday, September 2nd, and we finally had some consecutive days of dry weather here on the southeastern coast of North Carolina. That's why I'm going to take this dry weather as an opportunity to show you what may be my best tasting fig and why it's a contender for one of the top figs out there. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell to receive new video notifications, and check out our Amazon storefront and spread shop in the video description for a list of the gardening products I use and awesome custom designed apparel and other gear. Your support is greatly appreciated. Over the years, I've made a ton of fig related videos on this channel, including a number of compilation videos centered around multiple varieties of figs and why I think they are must-have varieties to build a fig collection around. I take into account cost and availability and earliness and rain resistance because I'm looking for figs generally that are readily available, that anybody can find, that can tolerate rain and do well in a wide variety of climates. What I don't do is recommend really hard to find varieties of figs that cost a whole lot of money per cutting and that require super long periods of dry weather and really long growing seasons, because what is the point of recommending varieties that most people can't grow? But still, many of you have asked me the question over the years, putting all of that aside, if you had an unlimited growing season and the perfect growing conditions, what would be your #1 fig simply based on taste? It doesn't matter how rare and expensive it is and how difficult it is to grow. I only want to know about the end product. And that's what I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to show you my fig that is probably the best tasting fig that I've ever grown and that I've ever had. And that fig variety is right here. This is the Gran. This was probably, without a doubt, the best fig I've ever had in my entire life. I've never tasted anything this good off of any fruit tree, let alone just a fig. And now, for the good thing about this fig, the vigor is absolutely incredible. I planted this 2 springs ago, and last winter it completely died back to the ground. I cut it down flush with the ground, and then it had to grow back from the base of the roots in April. And look how tall this monster is right now. And it is also loaded up with figs. I'm not a very tall guy, but this fig tree is probably 7 feet tall. So this goes to show you how much a single fig tree can grow in a single season. Now you may be thinking to yourself, this has incredible vigor, it has incredible production, and it's the best tasting fig you've ever had. Why is this not at the top of all your lists? Well, it's also the most temperamental fig that I grow. This is a very challenging fig to grow. First of all, the cuttings themselves are often more expensive than a fig tree. So you'll pay more for the cuttings than for most fig trees out there. Second, it is a very late season fig. So if you don't have a very long growing season with lots of warmth, this fig will probably not ripen for you. Third, it has very long hang time, meaning once it starts to swell and ripen, it takes a ton of time. We're talking 6 to 8 days it has to ripen in perfectly dry weather for you to get a fig off of this tree. So if it rains in that 6 to 8 day period, there's a chance that it could sour or burst. It's almost impossible for me to get prolonged dry weather like that here where I live because of all the thunderstorms we get. So actually last year I didn't get to harvest a single fig off of this tree because how hard these figs are to ripen. So you really need good dry weather growing conditions with a long warm season to grow a fig like this. So if you're in Texas or you're out west in California or New Mexico or Arizona, this may be a great fig for you, or if you grow indoors, this may be a great fig for you, but if you have wet, humid weather like me, this is a real challenge. That's why I had to drop everything I was doing when I saw that I have a ripe fig that is starting to drip honey from the eye. This is a very rare thing for me in my climate, for the stars to align to get dry weather at just a perfect time to harvest a fig off of this incredible tree. Now, if you're wondering what this bag is that I have around my figs, this is an organza bag, and I use them to protect my figs because if I don't protect them with this bag, they will get ants in them, and if we get rain, they will also have fruit flies called SWD that can go inside the ostiole and lay eggs and destroy the fig. So I cover them with these bags to keep all of the insects out. I have these bags linked in my Amazon storefront in the video description. They are super cheap and super effective. And I'll also link to a video above that shows you exactly how I use them. So I got very lucky that this fig actually ripened for me in these conditions. So now let's pick this beauty of a fig. Now, initially looking at this fig, I probably should have let it go another day or two, but we might get thunderstorms tonight into tomorrow, so I just can't risk it. You'll also notice I have a little bit of molding that is in the eye right there, and that is a consequence of how wet and humid it is here. However, I still can't let this opportunity pass me by. So I need to cut this open and reveal what's inside. And that right there is just an absolutely beautiful fig. One of the most beautiful figs. Just, it's hard to describe how pretty that is. Now, I know not all of you are fig growers out there, but the reason why I love growing figs is they are the only species of fruit where you can have multiple varieties that don't even taste like they're the same species of fruit. What do I mean by that? Well, if you grow 10 different apple trees, while all 10 apple varieties can taste quite different, they all still taste like an apple. They all have that core texture and core flavor profile, so they're really just variations on that. You can grow 10 different varieties of figs and they can taste like 10 different species of fruit. You can have figs that taste like a peach, you could have figs that taste like a strawberry, a blackberry, that taste like caramelized molasses. They just don't taste anything at all like each other, and you could have a blind taste test and you could think that you're eating entirely different species of fruit. So that's why these are really special. So I wanted to take this time and try this very rare and unique variety that's difficult to grow on camera because it's really a special fruit. It's difficult to describe how good this fig is. First of all, this fig isn't entirely ripe. The top is starting to taste like melon, so it still needed a few more days, so we're not going to eat the top. But the bottom of this fig tastes like strawberries if you cook them down into a syrup and then you added honey to them and almost caramel. I taste three distinct flavors in there: honey, caramel, and strawberries. It is just, it's so complex. There's so much going on. It is unbelievable how good this fruit is. And what is so amazing is that here in the southeast and also in the deep south in general, because of how much rain and humidity we get, we turn out the worst figs in the entire United States. So I can't imagine how good this fig would be growing in California or Arizona or in Texas, or grown indoors in a greenhouse where it's shielded from the elements. This is just, it is an unbelievable eating experience. You almost can't believe that this is just an all-natural fruit that came right off of the tree. You can't believe that something that nature grew is this good. I've been trying to move away from videos like these centered around one specific variety of fruit because this is a hard to obtain variety. It's a hard to grow variety. However, this is such a special piece of fruit that I really felt the need to make this video. So if you really love figs and you're up for a challenge, or if you have the perfect climate to grow figs, maybe you're in Arizona or in Texas or in Southern California or the California valleys where figs just grow no problem, this is really one that you need to keep an eye out for. It's worth the cost, it's worth hunting it down. It is a very special fig, and it's one of the better figs in existence. I have far from tried all the figs in existence, but I can promise you it is a top tier fig that can rival pretty much everyone's favorite fig out there. So everybody, I sure hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you're notified when we release more videos like these. If you're curious about any of the products that I use for real in my garden, they are all linked down in my Amazon storefront in the video description, so check out that link to see everything I use in real life in my garden. And while you're there, check out my spread shop for custom merch if you want to support the channel. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope to see all of you again on the next video.
Hey Dale, look at that gator in the pond over there. Get a look at that big boy. Whoa, 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 don't get too close, buddy. Look at that monster right there. That's Wally Gator. He's just hanging out. Oh, it's hot today, staying cool in the pond. Look at that big boy right there, buddy. We definitely don't want to get anywhere near that big old gator over there. It's amazing. All these gators in North Carolina, you don't think they're here, but they are. Let's get out of here, buddy, before Mr. Gator gets hungry.